idyllic setting for the midpoint of the WRC season. The greatest drivers in the world are in town, poised, ready and waiting to do battle. Among them, one of the finest of his generation. Robert Kubica is back home, where it all began. A changed man, on the surface at least. Welcome to round 7 of the World Rally Championship back in Poland for the first time in 5 years. One man in particular is very much among friends.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy also for the fans, because I think it's very good for them to have opportunity to see the top class drivers and top cars.
Robert Kubica, just one of the stars here as Poland treats us to a real roller coaster ride. This is one ultra-fast event.
MotoGP and F1, they do over 300 k's an hour, but they have half a mile runoff. We're doing it between the bushes, so on gravel.
Which is sure to lead to some lively and unpredictable action, as we shall be seeing very shortly. The best of Rally Poland coming up, along with a timely reminder of what happened here 5 years ago. One of the most embarrassing and costly finales in WRC history.
Looking back now, then it's probably what it did cost us the World Championship.
Rally Poland, round 7 of 13, exactly halfway through a season dominated by Volkswagen. 4 wins for world champion Sebastian Ogier, 2 for teammate Jari-Matti Latvala. That inter-team rivalry adding extra spice to the championship battle. Ogier's victory last time out in Sardinia sees the Frenchman extending his lead in the championship to 33 points over Latvala. Mads Osberg leading the rest of the field, 3rd for Citroën. In the manufacturers, VW enjoying a comfortable lead. Difficult to see anyone putting a spanner in their works as they look for back-to-back world titles, but still a long way to go. We're in the spectacular Mazurian Lake District of Poland, northeast of the capital Warsaw. Rally HQ based in Mikołajki, with a trip over the border for a day's rallying in Lithuania on Friday. 337 kilometres high-speed action to come, starting with 3 opening stages on Thursday evening. So, what exactly can we expect here in Poland? Let's find out now with our commentator, John Desborough.
A gentle eastern wind, a quiet walk through the barley, but you might need to hurry to see 2 greats of motorsport and to hear the secret to taming this event, starting with stage 1.
Quite impressive stage, I would say, because in the end it's very fast stage, especially in the beginning, but it will be quite difficult to feel straight away the grip. Most important thing is that to see the pace notes if are working properly, and if everything is working, you know, to get straight away your confidence.
You can imagine in the recce we come there with 70 kph only, and easily with the rally car we are doing a lot around 160 or 170, so that's tricky. Even though you have everything on your nose, you are hesitating all the time a little bit how it's going to react on that pump, and is the road going to be wide enough to be able to get through.
Right, let's get this road on the show, and launching himself into the second half of his season, Sebastian Ogier, and as championship leader the rules say he goes first. Rules he hates, because those unused stages, they're the dirtiest and they're the slowest to drive through. Normally the slowest to drive through, that is. Starting his weekend 2 minutes later, teammate Jari-Matti Latvala. But look at the clocks, and what an immediate contrast to Ogier's drive. These opening 14.5 kilometres must feel like 114 to Latvala. He's about to drop almost a second a kilometre to his teammate. He's handing his biggest rival an immediate advantage. Mikkelsen's been keen to tell us that he loves these fast-flowing roads. Just look at them. He doesn't hang about on the opening 14.5 either. Mikkelsen turned 25 this week, but as you can see, he's still the nipper of the VW team, and a nippy one as well. His is the second fastest time. There's also a great start for Chris Meek.
150, keep left for right, tightens to 5 right, plus for 100.
His time is the third quickest on this opening stage. Now, Meek's competed in Poland before in a two-wheel drive Citroen with less grunt. He settles quickly and is faster than his teammate Osberg. But there's really only one driver most fans are here to see, and this is him, Poland's very own Robert Kubica. And he's celebrating the World Championship's return to his home by pimping his ride. His Fiesta has a new red and white livery, and in it he turns in one of the best starts of the season.
Thanks, John. Yes, a promising opening run from Kubica, but despite being first on those dusty roads, it's Ogier who takes the early lead, fractionally quicker than teammate Mikkelsen. Chris Meek also enjoying a good start, but a promising opening stage from the local hero. Robert Kubica nowadays adopting a more measured approach to his driving after a succession of crashes earlier this season, and looking to continue that impressive transition from circuit racing to rally in front of his home fans here.
I think we have to keep our feet on the ground, and we cannot expect miracles, but I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy also for the fans, because I think it's very good for them to have opportunity to see the top class drivers and top cars.
Where would you like to be on Sunday? What's your perfect result for this rally?
To be honest, Sunday I hope to finish the rally with no mistakes, and if I'm happy with what I have done, I will be very happy and very proud of it. To be honest, the result doesn't really matter. It can be whatever it is. The most important is the feeling of having done a good rally and a good job.
Well, having made a bright start to his home events, it appears Robert Kubica has hit a spot of trouble as he arrives back from stage 2. Certainly a smashed windscreen and some other seemingly superficial damage to his Fiesta. It could have been much worse though, and we're about to find out why as we return to stage 2 on board with Kubica at speed, going well, but then he's off. Kubica rolls, ending up with the car on its side. Fortunately, local fans are quickly on the scene to the rescue, and Kubica is soon back on all fours and away, remarkably losing less than half a minute in the process. Let's find out from Kubica now exactly what happened there.
I just brake over the crest, and the car was unloaded a bit, and I went into the field, but there was too big drop, and we have a roll. Okay, it was quite soft roll, not high speed, but yeah, that's how it is. It's a shame, but still the rally is very long.
A lucky escape then. So we know Kubica needs a new windscreen, and there's plenty of time to fix that in the regroup between stages 2 and 3. But is there any further damage? Anything that could really compromise this, his home rally? Enter the FIA safety delegates, carefully checking the Fiesta's roll cage. Thankfully, Kubica is clear to continue as we prepare for stage 3. The short run through the Mikko Waikki Super Special, scene of one of the most dramatic finales in recent WRC history 5 years ago. Finns Mika Hirvonen and Jari-Matti Latvala, then teammates at Ford, were flying in 2009 and seemingly heading for a perfect 1-2 finish after world champion Sebastian Loeb had unusually gone off. Hirvonen and Latvala just had the final short sprint through the Super Special to negotiate.
We had Jari-Matti in second, Sebastian had problems. It was absolutely looking like it was going to be a dream result. Within walking distance of the main service park, there's the final Super Special stage, and did have a word with Jari, and because obviously I think he wanted to try and win the stage. But I said, no, look, it's important that we get Mikko to come over the line first, because he would be the first one over the actual finish line. But then for some unknown reason, which probably Jari will be able to tell you exactly what happened, but he just clipped one of the 45-gallon drums that's on the side, and of course it was filled with concrete and with an open wheel on the steering.
First I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw something over there, and I still thought that that's you know, maybe he got a puncture and I'm just catching him, but then he was standing still over there, so it was quite unbelievable to see. But he did everything he could to finish the rally, but it just didn't work out.
We even had the top wrapper off both champagne bottles, and then for it all to go horribly wrong. Probably something that's taken me probably 5 years to get over, actually.
You can't really remember anything from the stages from that time, and also anyway there were bad memories for me from the rally, so I wiped up everything out from my memory. So it was like a new start for me.
You know, it's one of those things, you know, it was just there, a few kilometers to do, and we could have had first and second, but you know, it happens.
At the time you don't think it's going to you know, cost you the World Championship, but looking back now, then it probably, well, it did cost us the World Championship.
5 years on then, could Jari-Matti Latvala put half a decade of personal torment behind him in the setting sun and dust of stage 3?
So here he is again, where it all went wrong. The picture of calm. Can it have really hurt that much? We're about to find out. Jari-Matti Latvala and Mika Antola in the outside lane of the opening super special. Chris Meek on the inside lane. Watch out for those obstacles. Well, that's where it was. And that surely must mean that Jari-Matti Latvala has slain the ghost. He punches the air, he's beaten the demon. It was close even this time, but the demon is beaten.
I finally finished this stage. Now I can breathe and my heart is relieved. I can start my rally now. It's been so much, so many bad memories, and I could see the finish of this stage. Helps a lot. But still, on the same corner where I hit this that year, the straw bales were really nasty positions. I nearly was hitting this time as well, so I can see that the corner was bad as well.
One very happy and relieved Jari-Matti Latvala, a joyful catharsis no less, tainted only by teammate Ogier, eclipsing everyone in the setting sun, fully 2.7 seconds quicker through there to take the overnight lead. An eventful start to Rally Poland, with much more blistering action to come on these high-speed roads, including a controversial and frustrating cross-border trip into Lithuania in just a moment. It's day 2 of Rally Poland, returning to the WRC after a 5-year absence, and led by world champion Sebastian Ogier, who describes this place as Finland without the jumps. In other words, very fast. Well, before we return to the stages, back at the service park, a spot of World Cup fever has broken out in the shape of a penalty shootout. Not quite as much at stake as in Brazil right now. All a bit of fun for the WRC elite, some with more interest in events at the World Cup than others, of course, not least Sebastian Ogier. Allez, les Bleus. Okay, back to the serious business, and our next burst of high-speed action in Poland is in the shape of 7 stages, including a trip over the border into Lithuania. 4 runs scheduled either side of a remote service. That's the plan, at least. It won't work out quite that way, as we'll see shortly. Day 2, though, starts in Poland with John.
Stage 4 and the journey here, you know, has been part of almost 580 kilometres of road sections just to get to the 7 stages today, Friday. And the road order remains the same as yesterday evening, so more roads to sweep for rally leader Sebastian Ogier. So it's heads down once again for the best man in this sport and his co-driver Julian Ingrassia.
200 mètres, léger gauche 150 en ciel, léger gauche 150 et 100 mètres 1.
Jari-Matti Latvala has yet to get stuck into this weekend. Latvala handed Ogier a generous 23 seconds yesterday. on this stage, changing notes as he goes. He nicks back a 10th, but neither man is the quickest on this, the opening stage of the day.
.1 quicker than Ogier. The smile's back. The smile is back and car feels good. It's a really good feeling to drive again, and I'm really enjoying. Really nice stage, fantastic stage, absolutely like Finland, and a really quick, nice corners. And I just dreaming on the, let's say, on the stage.
Smiling, happy and quicker, but not as quick as this man, the fastest man in Poland today, Andres Mikkelsen. His only problem is reading these corners well enough to decide if he, well, takes them fast or even faster. His rev limiter is working overtime. Mikkelsen wins stage 4 and he's rally leader once again. Speed doesn't frighten Britain's Chris Meek, although it does give his co-driver Paul Nagel sleepless nights every now and again, and that's his voice you can hear. Meek is happiest when he can open up his Citroën and go for it.
Middle over crest, 150.
He's quicker than Latvala, he's quicker than Ogier, he keeps hold of third place. Now remember what we've been saying about reading corners here, how they creep up on you, especially in 6th gear. It happens to everyone, even the highly rated Thierry Neuville. Oh yes, hang on everybody, but knowing how to get out of a high-speed spin like this is one of the many skills you need if you want to succeed here. And escape he does. Robert Kubica is the reason that the World Rally Championship has come here to Poland. He's glad his people can experience the buzz that the sport brings. One or two of them have already helped to push him back onto these roads. And he rewards today's spectators by turning in another fast time and moving back into the points places.
After yesterday circuit altitude, I have to, think about that. Even if I know where I am, I have to don't get, a circuit altitude to brake so late. And today there was very big braking into the junctions, and I took it, to be honest, quite easy. And also it's so fast that, I could go bit more confident, a bit quicker. But I think has been good stage and is important. Confidence is there after yesterday, so yeah, all good.
Rookie Hayden Padden cut his teeth on the blisteringly quick roads of New Zealand. His co-driver John Kennard owns a vineyard on one of the islands there. Well, they should bottle whatever it was that produced this blistering pace. It's a vintage time. The second quickest, and Padden moves up a place into 6th.
Meanwhile, the cat and mouse between Ogier and Mikkelsen continues. The Norwegian back on top after that quickest stage time. Less than half a second in it though. Great battle just behind them too. Less than 4 seconds separating Meek, Hannanen and Osberg. Robert Kubica back on the leaderboard after his earlier roll. Just behind this man, Mikko Hirvonen. The Finn struggling here in Poland, tweeting to say he's lacking confidence and struggling with pace notes. The last thing you need on rapid stages like this. But not as bad as last time out in Sardinia, where a sudden fire wrecked his Fiesta on the road section between stages, you'll recall.
It's the most extensive fire damaged car that I've ever had in my time. Even the cylinder block was melted. So I mean, literally, normally you could salvage things like the crankshaft and everything, but by the state of things like the cylinder block, then there's definitely absolutely nothing that's salvageable. And And even more worrying is we don't exactly still know at the point in time what caused it. We know it started in the right-hand rear wheel, but whether it was a damper burst or a brake line or something like that, we still really don't know.
An estimated £350,000 worth of WRC car up in flames, and the investigation into that fire continues as we now leave Poland and head over the border.
And we're in Lithuania just for the day, and it becomes the 32nd country that the championship has visited in its history. And the softer, damper conditions that you can see seem to have curbed the enthusiasm of tearaway rally leader Andreas Mikkelsen. Not by much, mind you. Just 0.8 of a second, but he hangs on to the rally lead by the skin of those shiny white teeth. Sébastien Ogier wouldn't be cleaning these stages today if the sports rule makers had kept the qualifying stage that they had last year. That way, Ogier could have picked where he drove in the road order, but not now. He's just got to work through the pain, keep on ploughing through the sand and gravel he finds that litters these roads. The very first day of action in Lithuania produces another stage winner, and this is it. It's Norway's Mads Osberg. He and co-driver Jonas Andersen have been working together for a long time now, and this teamwork you can hear backs them their first stage win of the weekend. Jari-Matti Latvala is in crisis. He's the first to admit that if he doesn't feel good, he doesn't drive well, and something is bothering him. Take it easy, Jari. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Well, a disgruntled Latvala should try life in Chris Meek's car. Lithuania's roads are not like the fast open ones in Poland. Dungannon's finest doesn't like the ruts that are developing. They slow his Citroën down. He drops a place on stage 5 and then almost loses another to Juho Hänninen on stage 6. He's driven almost 200 kilometres to get here, and he's going backwards down the leaderboard. And knowing Meek, he's not a happy bunny at all.
What can you do? There's nothing we can do. There's ruts over a foot deep after 7 cars. Okay, sometimes the leader on the road gets disadvantaged by cleaning. Here we're getting the disadvantage with ruts. Maybe I should have been leading the championship coming into this rally.
And much more on those ruts in just a moment, but it's world champion Ogier back in front, pushed hard though by Andreas Mikkelsen. Osberg up to 3rd as Meek struggles, Hänninen dropping down to 6th, fellow Finn Hirvonen up a couple of places, but the action is about to come to an abrupt halt. And here's why. There are those ruts Chris Meek was talking about, and the organisers indeed decide they are now too deep for the action to continue. They cancel stages 7 and 8, the second pass through, in the interest of safety of both drivers and spectators.
Been a long trip for not so many kilometers in the stage. Unfortunately, the 2 last stages now is cancelled because the conditions are so rough, and I think it's okay for WRC cars, but for the smaller cars they seem to have a problem to get through, and then we have to cancel.
We've seen during Wiki that the ground is very soft here, and the ruts were huge, I guess. We spent a day here for not so much racing time.
I think it was the right decision to cancel because as well for us it's getting more and more dangerous when it's rough like this because you can quickly lose the control of the car because yeah, you cannot run a proper racing line. You just follow the lines and try to survive.
Well, they've come a long way to do only half the job in Lithuania, but there's nothing for it but to head back across the border to Poland for the remaining stages of this second day. Now, Thierry Neuville's already had a day of it. Into a ditch in stage 4, a spin in 6, and now here in 9, towards the end of the day, more problems. overheated rear brakes, along with a locked handbrake apparently, all of which called for some impromptu roadside repairs. Nothing a good old thump with a spanner won't put right. Perhaps let's hear more now from Thierry about what went wrong.
Problem with the brakes. The car starts to lock the brakes himself, and probably a problem with the cylinder or something. But we have to go, and we will see if it's happened again.
Well, away from Neville's problems, the lead continues to change hands in that battle between the VW pair. Mikkelsen absolutely flying in 9. He wins that stage to go ahead of Ogier, only for Ogier to regain the lead in the final stage of the day, 10. Robert Kubica benefits from Neville's problems. He moves up to 8th, just behind Mikko Hirvonen. Rally Poland producing all sorts of intrigue and drama, and we are only warming up. Coming next, one of the most extraordinary days action of the season. Masurian Lake District of Poland, the latest stunning backdrop for the global adventure that is the World Rally Championship. There are some 2,000 lakes in this northeast pocket of Poland, one of the most famous lake districts in the world, and not surprisingly a popular spot with tourists, and indeed this year rally drivers too. So, Saturday, day 3, a busy schedule, 10 stages in all, more rapid action on the Polish tracks, described by rally leader Ogier as Finland without the jumps. Very, very fast, in other words. Dusty too. Now, every now and then, a World Rally stage produces the kind of action and incident they'll talk about for years to come, and that is likely to be the case for not one, but 2 of this morning's tests. First, stage 12 with John.
Now, yesterday Robert Kubica hinted he was gradually becoming a rally driver, braking less like a circuit driver. But I bet he never saw a bit in the road quite like that in the Grand Prix that he won in 2008. It's a huge hole, and watch it as it damages that front right wheel. Henning Solberg next. Someone better tell him, you know, about the football-sized rock that's out there, right in the middle of the stage. Oh, too late. Jari-Matti Latvala can't afford any kind of mistake like those. Not now, not for the rest of the season, if he wants to hunt down and beat his VW teammate. But he too blinks and misses this turning point. The stage 12 jitters get to the world champion as well. Sideways, flat out in 6th. And the only way to rescue the situation is to make a bit of pizza with that steering wheel. And it's not over either. That kind of oversight's costing him time, and this one as well. It's going to cost him the lead, surely. The lead he fought so hard to win back. Can you feel the clock ticking away? Can you hear a bit of dance music in the background?
Maybe the third corner of the stage we had a moment, we went quite sideways, 6th gear, and then I missed the brakes on the village, on the cobblestone. It was so slippery, and then I had to escape on the wrong way, turn around, come back. Yeah, not a good stage, but it was a tricky one.
Not good, he thinks, but Sebastian Ogier need have no fear, because this man, Andreas Mikkelsen, yes, is going to make the same mistake. Only with one big difference. He's going to drop 10 seconds because he can't find reverse. All in all, it's a bit of an amateur hour. It catches out 8 of the world's finest with a simple understeer at that junction. But happily for Ogier, he leads by an increased margin over Mikkelsen.
Indeed he does. Ogier's lead now up to 10 seconds. Osberg now less than 10 behind Mikkelsen. Latvala right in the mix, followed by Meek in 5th. The Finns Juho Hänninen and Mika Hirvonen ahead of Robert Kubica. Elvin Evans in 10th, but not for much longer, as we shall now see. A few feathers are about to be well and truly ruffled. Here's John again.
So to the best of stages 13 and 14 now, or should we say the worst of them. So far there's been little movement on the leaderboard behind that Ogier-Mikkelsen contest. That's about to change for Elvin Evans on a long left-hand bend.
50, 3 back,
Well, the notes did say keep in.
Just up the road here, fast left-hander, blind left-hander with some grass on the inside, and we've just opened the wheel for more lock, and there was a big stone lying just in the grass there we didn't spot on the recce, so he's taken the wheel off, and we've attempted a repair here, but unfortunately it's been unsuccessful.
Chris Meek has been taking some heat from Hänninen and Mikko Hirvonen in a battle that's developing over 5th place.
Request 24 minus bad water mud, very slippy maybe.
But this section
50,
hides a compression.
left, okay.
And it's one that launches him into the view at the side of the stage. That and a puncture drops Meek out of the top 10.
Left over crest, okay, and smart.
Stage 14 hasn't finished leaving its imprint on the day. Jari-Matti Latvala gets caught up in Elvin Evans' wake. The fans on the side of the stage warn him. But afterwards, on a long left-hand roll of his own, he clamps a stone and damages his sump guard and front suspension. And the suspension damage is there for all to see. Matt Osberg is about to suffer much, much more than any of them, because out of the soft, sandy road rolls a rock right in front of Mads Citroen. And he meets it head on. The steering goes, he loses control and rolls head over heels. And that is the end of his day. Now the aftermath of Mad's accident has implications for rally leader Sebastian Ogier. It's just round the corner there. Ogier forced to sit and wait, while the Polish fans manhandle Osberg's Citroen off the stage. Now this isn't going to affect teammate Andreas Mikkelsen, who's last into this section and stays trouble-free. But Ogier has, as you can see, been held back. Well, the stewards realise, and they hand him back all the time that he loses.
All of which means Ogier is now 16.7 seconds ahead of Mikkelsen. Osberg's departure sees Latvala completing a VW 1-2-3, but with those suspension problems, Meek dropping off the leaderboard after that puncture. Okay, well, let's see if we can get some reaction to all that chaos, shall we? First, by going back into the stage and catching up with Mads Osberg. What can he tell us about that big off?
There is a left-hand bend up here. I think more and more cars have digged out a big rock, and we hit it just on the exit of the corner. It took the wheel off. I lost completely the steering, so even though it's straight here, we managed to roll on the straight, so just a small roll, but the worst of course is the damage to the front left tire, and we cannot continue.
Over and out for Osberg. Jari-Matti and co-driver Mika Anttila, meanwhile, repairing their suspension, or at least trying to, in the road section. They will manage to continue, but for how long? Well, let's find out by joining them again now in stage 15.
And Kevin, Jari-Matti might look cool as a cucumber, but just look at that suspension on the left-hand side, but the spring trying to escape from the bonnet. That's the one he broke on the previous stage, and his car is now steering like a shopping trolley, only slower. Jari-Matti Latvala's grim expression hiding a million regrets and fears. And remember, this could be terminal at any minute. He is hanging on to his rally here.
What happened in the previous stage and how you've managed to make it here?
Yeah, we hit something on the previous stage. There was something inside and it broke the top mount. We tried to fix it, but we couldn't do it. So unfortunately, the repairments broke and we had to drive with the broken car. But we are here, so now we need to go.
Thanks, Gary.
Yes, Jari-Matti in a hurry to get back to service and have that suspension repaired. Ogier now 19 seconds ahead of Mikkelsen. Hannanen finds himself up to third ahead of teammate Neuville. Mika Hirvonen on the up, as is Robert Kubica. He's into the top 6 ahead of the ailing Latvala. Jari-Matti then back to service. The mechanics busily trying to get that suspension repaired. It's a race against the clock. But as ever, job done, and Latvala returns to the action, hoping in the afternoon loop to make his way back up that leaderboard.
So to the key moments from stages 16 and 17, and a chance to see Thierry Neuville on a charge. Hannanen is now easy meat for Neuville. Even more impressive, the way he beats everybody else, even the rally leader over the second run through Stara Jucha. This is Neuville's first stage win of the weekend, and it's the 37th of his career. Robert Kubica matches Thierry Neuville's turn of pace in stage 16, but there's little he can do about events after that. In there, he wallops a rock with his right rear wheel. He's 3.7 kilometres into the stage 17. It's likely to be Rally 2 for him from now on. Hello, look, isn't that Robert Kubica?
Question of centimeters, and unfortunately here the road was very narrow. The car slid a bit, and you know, many times you touch the bank because there is like small bank with gravel, and this time there was a huge rock, and so we hit the rear wheel and it opened completely.
Jari-Matti Latvala has got a new car. Well, at least it feels like a new car. His confidence is back, and he's flying up through the gearbox, and he's back among the front runners. Jari-Matti's into 6th. Andreas Mikkelsen really pushes the world champion hard on stage 16. It's the first one after the midday service. But after all of that effort, the birthday boy can't keep it up through stage 17. Just a little ragged in places. You know what, there's even a scare for the rally leader as well. Sebastian Ogier thinks he's heard a noise. It's coming from the right rear wheel of this Polo. And he's asking himself, was there an impact back there? Well, the car seems to be behaving itself. And the clock at the end of the stage doesn't suggest there was. Ogier dropped 7/10 in stage 17. Rival Andreas Mikkelsen 4.7. It's another good performance from the world champion.
And it just got even better. Mikkelsen going on to lose about half a minute on stage 19 with a brake issue. The gap more than a minute come the end of the day. Neuville in 3rd, but don't count out Jari-Matti Latvala just yet. He's only 25 seconds or so away from the podium. It's been an extraordinary day in the Polish countryside, full of drama and high-speed twists and turns, and there's plenty more to come. Rally Poland reaches its conclusion. Back in a moment. Welcome once again to Poland. World champion Sebastian Ogier poised for WRC win number 21 today, unless there's another late twist in the closing stages. Sunday is the fourth and final day of action, featuring just 4 tests, a second run through Milki, where it all got underway on Thursday night, concluding with the return to Baranowo, the end of rally power stage, where, as ever, there are bonus points on offer. So once again, Sebastian Ogier is the man to catch. How often have we said that?
Kevin, the clouds have moved in and the rain is coming down, but in stage 21 there are just enough kilometres left in this event if someone out there wants to try and take third place off Thierry Neuville. The leaders, Mikkelsen and Ogier, are too far away for even the Belgian to see, but Thierry could drift dangerously backwards and fall into the sights of Mikko Hirvonen in 4th place. Hirvonen and co-driver Jarmo Lehtinen are going to tackle today on very little sleep, in a bid to finally get those pace notes into shape. They stayed up long into the night. There they are, with Jarmo Lehtinen holding them. They checked them against the recce video. Are they going to affect things today? Both the Finnish and the Belgian drivers will have to match this man, Jari-Matti Latvala. And he's got much more to prove than the pair of them. He's got a world champion for a teammate, and he doesn't take prisoners. Thierry Neuville has been through and set a time of 6:55 dead. Still, there are drivers to come. What about Jari-Matti's attempt to climb the leaderboard again? To make up for all of yesterday's problems, Latvala's polo got a bit bogged down, but he's still outdone Neuville by 1.6 seconds. Meanwhile, as can happen on a Sunday morning, the leading pair have taken the heat out of the battle for the win. Andreas Mikkelsen knows he needs Sebastian Ogier to make a mistake if he wants to win it from here. Well, Sebastian Ogier doesn't oblige with things like this, especially on the opening stage on a Sunday. The last real mistake he made, well, that would have been so long ago it was probably recorded in black and white. Pathé News.
Droite 140 déleste, droite 140 déleste, 70 mètres, droite 130 plus.
No, in the opening pair of stages, the 1-2 remains the same.
Down, just the one to go for Sebastian Ogier and more than a minute in hand. Latvala probably has too much to do to get the better of Hirvonen for 4th. The battle for 7th though could hardly be closer. Meek going above Padden, just 1/10 between them though. That's one to watch as we head for the grand finale, the power stage.
The power stage, stage 24. And this weekend started with Robert Kubica, so we need him at the end. The only trouble is that his home, Poland, hasn't been very kind to him. He's given us lots of entertainment as Robert this weekend, but he hasn't been given any points. Just lots and lots of pride at having seen so many welcome this championship back to Poland.
It has been good rally, and I want to thank all fans for support. And they have been great. And also we have to, I think, congratulate organizers, because compared to last year, especially in Polish side, they have done a very great job.
There are points for Chris Meek.
Very low for them, minus 1-3. And very tight, minus over crest.
Had it not been for the minute or so that he spent in the ruts of Lithuania on Friday, and another minute or so in that field on Saturday, remember stage 14, he could have been on the podium. Jari-Matti Latvala won't give up. He's got so much to make up, and he has the smell of Mikko Hirvonen's exhaust fumes in his lungs. The only problem is that the power stage is 14.9 kilometres long, not 44.9 kilometres long. Otherwise, he would have caught his fellow Finn and taken 4th place. But, as the clocks show, he is about to outdo Chris Meek.
Jari-Matti, quickest through so far, and really pushing in the second half of that stage.
I wasn't really hard, but when I had a problem yesterday on the stage, I didn't know exactly all the places, how fast you can go. Some places was a bit coming a little bit on the limit, and some places I was a little bit too cautious, so it was quite a hard push, but I think we did well. But let's see how it is compared to others.
There must have been a time when this man, Thierry Neuville, thought his goose was cooked. His brakes were. They were in flames. But Hyundai tidied his car up on Friday, got him back out into the stages, back out into the fray, and their efforts have paid off. 3rd place belongs to Thierry Neuville, but we'll all have to wait a while to see if he takes any of the power stage bonus points as well. Things have added up nicely for Andreas Mikkelsen. Let's see now. This is going to be 18 points for 2nd place in the rally. Throw in a couple of points for his efforts on this, the closing stage. He's about to eclipse Thierry Neuville and Jari-Matti. And all of that, well, that makes Poland his best event this year. And there's an extra special celebration at the end of the power stage. And that's because Mikkelsen's new co-driver, Ole Flöner, there he is, has never been on a podium. Well, that's all about to change.
It's been a great weekend. Rally Poland has some stages I really enjoy, really fast and flowing, and we have really enjoyed. We battled hard with Seb all weekend. Same with yesterday with the brake problems and when I did the mistakes, but overall a very positive weekend for myself and Ola.
Once again, no one could touch rally leader, and now rally winner Sébastien Ogier.
Un ciel basse et gauche, 40 mètres, droite 140 à fond bref.
It must be a great feeling, you know, to go into a final stage of a rally with over a minute's lead in hand. And as the clocks show, he's also bagged the full 3 bonus points as well. This man, Sébastien Ogier, has been in a hurry all weekend. And he will be when it's all over, because after this, he's getting off that car, getting on a plane, and going off on a holiday. And he's earned it. Confirmation of the bonus points: 3 for Ogier, 2 for Mikkelsen, 1 for Latvala.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect weekend for me. I'm really happy. Another victory, a good step for the championship. So I had a lot of fun. The stages were really nice this weekend, so high speed all the time, and I really enjoyed to drive my Polo here.
And how much did Andreas push you here?
Yeah, he did a great job. He was on a very strong rhythm. I knew that the first day I had a bit disadvantage to open the road, and I knew if I could carry this level of attack and speed on the second and third day, then I will make the difference, and that's what happened. So I'm very happy.
And so he should be. Win number 21 for Sébastien Ogier. Mikkelsen also delighted, adding to his 2nd place in Sweden earlier this season. And a 2nd podium too for Hyundai, courtesy of Thierry Neuville, moving up from 10th on Friday to take 3rd. Then it's the Finns, Latvala, Hirvonen and Hannanen. Martin Prokop rounds off the top 10. But once again, it's a familiar sight back at VW, where the celebrations continue. All of which means that after another maximum 28-point haul, Ogier enjoys a 50-point lead over teammate Latvala. Mikkelsen moves up to third in place of Osberg, Hervenen fifth, Neville swapping places with Elvin Evans, 8th to 6th. Meek is the sandwich in that filling. VW enter the second half of the season with an emphatic lead in the Manufacturers' Championship, 147 points ahead of Citroën, Ford another 25 back. The message is clear from Volkswagen as we enter the second half of the season. Catch us if you can. It's been a lively return to Poland, high speed and no little drama. Our next stop is Finland, where the action will come even quicker. From John Desborough and myself and all at WRC TV, thanks for watching. See you next time.